These people are just waiting for Europa Super League to profiting all of them. Yeah, 100%. We're not going to talk about that in particular. I have a lot of things to say about this loan kind of thing, because if you really put your goggles on, if you put your analytical mind, it's not really a takeover. It's basically a financial loan, giving a sort of the carrot and the stick. So basically, let's face it, glazers are broke. Glazers are maximized all the finances of credit. No bank wants to give it. You have the minority investors looking there. We're talking about the serious investors. Yeah, Brian, you can come in and have a chat if you want. Let me just share the drink. Brian Stinson just sent me a message on WhatsApp. He wants to come in and have a say. Is that cool with you, Mark?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Hang on, Brian. Hang on a second. Brian, welcome in. I'm just pasting on your WhatsApp. But at the end of the day, mate, like, you know, it is pretty much like, you know, I give you some money in return as you give me some shares, right? And the 300 million that's pledged in investment doesn't go for the infrastructure, it goes for more shares, right? So there's no way Ineos can pump in money into the transfer market. The problem remains the same. The problem remains the same. We, on the commercial side and operational side, don't have money. We don't. We're broke, right? So how are we going to get money for the January window or loan for the summer window? You know, and if this new CEO, Jean-Claude Blanc, or whatever his name, is going to come in and optimize certain things, he's going to do miracles. He's not Rain Man, right?
100%.
So it's those kind of questions you have to ask. I just shared the link with you, Brian, so just hop in anytime, mate, on WhatsApp. Anyway, facts, no more money for the transfer in January, what Jeff Steele is saying, or next summer, priority be stadium and facilities.
But
But what money? What facility? Who's going to build it?
To fix that stadium, just to renovate is $1 billion.
You can't.
Almost
They're
$1 billion.
Knock it down.
Three-quarters of $1 billion. To knock it down?
They're going to knock it down. They hired, you know, professional architecture surveys, and they basically came back with a report. There's nothing you can do it. This stadium is past due date, right? You know, you can't even do it. And the ground it stays on, the infrastructure underneath is not stable, mate. So what? Are they going to knock it down and build it somewhere else? And with what money? Are they going to go and sponsor it with who? I don't know. I just don't see this happening, mate. You know? 100%. So is there a way for them to just say, well, we were in it together just to, you know, we give you a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, if you read between the lines, they will not sell under $33 per share. So this is a massive profit. Like, anyone can buy Ineos out as well. You know what I mean? Good afternoon to you guys as well. Sanjay, who's here? Sanjay Ramatur, good afternoon as well, mate. 30 likes, and we are rising. We need Todabo. We need a lot of players, young defenders. But we also have, God, I'm struggling. The name
we have Willie Kwambala.
Kwambala, yes, 100%. New stadium. Hey, that's what we need. New stadium. We need new stadium. What else do we need? Training ground facilities upgrade. What about the women's team? We've got academy players. So many dodgy questions. For me, this is not a takeover. This is just an investment and a loan. And serious people see it for what it is. So anyway, let's talk about the game, man. Let's talk about the game. Brian, I share you the link. You coming or not coming? Welcome back, sir.
It's going to be a good game, I think. You know, we're facing Nottingham Forest. We're going to be away, you know, at the City Stadium. Nottingham Forest, we played them earlier on this season. It was the first time we came back to win a game this season from 2-0 down. We came back and won that game 3-2. I think it's going to be a different game. They have the new manager bounce. That's also a thing. In my opinion, United has this new energy about them right now. You know, you see, like, one, I didn't expect Rashford to start, and let alone have a performance like he did. You know, so it's one of those things where you can't predict United right now. Rasmus Højlund getting a goal makes it a big difference as well.
Be careful what you. I've been talking about this for months and months and months. Like, you know, Ineos own PDL 193, which is the liquid gas fracking rights and the reserves under the Greater Manchester area, including where the stadium is. So if they're going to knock it down and build it somewhere else, that means in the future, if you have the way the world is shaping, maybe they're going to prove the fracking, and voila, Glazers and Ineos, they earn a lot of money on that. Speculation, but it's there. Like, you know, we won't rebuild the stadium. It costs too much money to do that anyway. Yo, I just send the link to Brian Stinson. I haven't spoken to Brian for ages. Looking forward for him to come in. Brian, all the way from USA, my friend. I think what are we saying here? I think many changes will be done in the summer. Transfer, new players, etc., etc. It's all, people don't believe it. Like Jeff Staley says, it's all BS. 300 million to the end of 2024 solves nothing. But that's 300 million goes straight into the shares, buying more shares, right? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's got nothing to do with pumping in money into the club. So you got to ask yourself the question, wake up, smell the coffee. I know they're going to offer you the Sir Brailsford. Somebody's calling out as like an imposter. Like, what relevance does he have to football? He's done with Sky Cycling, and that's about it. Is this going to be uncharted water? Are you going to get Jean-Claude Blanc? But he's going to be in charge of commercials as well, not only for football. He's the CEO of commercials as well. Marketing, more money, you know what I mean? More money, right? And then potentially a director of football, and that's about it, And then you're going to look at, for what money are we going to buy players for? Where is that coming from, right?
That's the thing. That's the whole thing. This is why a lot of people wanted 100% sale, because then you would know where money is coming from for players. You'd know where money is coming from for facilities and investment into the stadium and the different teams.
This sounds to me like, I've been thinking about it, analyze it, and this doesn't sound to me, as I said, this is not a takeover, right? This is somebody loaning money to somebody in exchange for some a bit of shares and 2 seats on the board. That's it. So that means that the takeover is still on, in a way. It's still open. That it means that anyone can come in within 18 months or then the next foreseeable months to say, I buy 100%. And that means that he can buy out also, Ineos or Sir Jim Ratcliffe out on his $33 per share. So he made a profit. So he set the bar like a minimum $33 per share. Yeah, that's the thing. Or you can keep Ineos there as a minority investor, like you have in the current state, like Lindsay Trainbow and Group Areas and all that, and you can still own majority of the shares. Like, it ain't matter, because if you have full control of the club, the more seats on the board, like even if you own 70%, 75%, you're good. You're cooking, right?
100%. And one of Yali is saying that there are plans to increase the stadium to a 1995K stadium. There are so many who would die to sponsor a build, but I have to mention this one fact to a lot of people who might not know. The history of Old Trafford, it's over 50 years old. It's been there so long, right? It's like a historical, cultural land site. So unless the fans and the people of Manchester allow them to break that stadium down, it can't be broken down. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, this is something that even if they own the stadium, they still have to, it's one of those historical sites. If you look it up, you could see it qualifies for it in every way, shape, and form.
Historical. It's
and
damn right
the
historical.
fans can decide what's done with that stadium over the owners. And this is one of those instances where these things happen.
But you're damn right, historical. There's so many memories in there. There's the Stretford End, the Sir Bobby Charlton stand and everything else. Like, it is so iconical, right? So there's too many. You can take pieces of it, but not really take the spirit with it. You know what I mean? Listen, all the way from USA, a gentleman that I haven't spoken to for ages, Brian Stinson. It's been a hot minute, my friend. How you been?
I've been well, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, busy, man. So busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I guess you have a lot of things to talk about. What's on your chest, Brian?
I mean, lots of changes around the club. There's a lot of things that are going on. So I mean, there's not really a whole lot. I was kind of just going to jump in, and I don't want to deviate too much from the conversation that you all are having. But there are a lot of changes around the club with Sir Jim coming in, and speculation about how that relationship is going to work between Ineos and the Glazer family, and what, if anything, is going to change long term in the landscape of Manchester United, and all these different things. So we'll just have to see. There's a lot up in the air. What's going to come with Ten Hag? Is he going to be here come January? Is he going to be here come the summer? There's a lot of questions. Yeah. There's a lot of. It's interesting how we were hoping that some sort of quote unquote takeover would bring a bit of stability to the club, but actually all it does is prolong the instability until things can get settled. And then we'll actually figure out what the working relationship is going to be, right? Is Ineos going to appoint a sporting director at Manchester United? Who is that sporting director going to be? Right? What do they mean by sporting control? Right? Or sporting direction? What is that going to look like? How are they going to implement that sporting direction? There's a lot of questions. And then Manchester United have to keep getting results and not be crap in the Premier League on top of that.
Yeah.
So,
but buddy, just to answer your question, because you know what, during this period, I mean, they signed an agreement between themselves, but it's not really been 100% approved. Like it's like a prenup, you know what a prenup is when you get married, right?
Yeah.
You made your vows, and basically, and in this contract, you know, how do I say it? The husband here, like, you know, Sir Jim is saying, like, you know what? During this period of time, we're not allowed to slug each other off, right? We only have to be kiss each other and be nice, right? It's a honeymoon period, but this has to be approved. It goes up to the directors, the fitness and owners test by Premier League, and it also has to be submitted to New York Stock Exchange, and everything's going to be scrutinized, right? Until then, he's not having a full legal custodian right over the footballing operation, but they had made a pact to say you cannot hire or fire anything without my consent here, and this is going to take up to 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
But also there's also part of that contract to say that Glazer cannot take any dividends out. So that for me, Bryant, if I may say so, if I may speak bluntly, Glazers have been money hungry. They haven't been able to take out dividends for 1 year out of the club, right?
That's right.
So they were desperate for somebody to give them a little bit of a cash. So here comes Sir Jim, gives them 1.2 billion, right? They go straight into the kitty, but nothing to the club, right?
Yep.
So everything is just basically a loan, because they invited a lot of those minority investors, shareholders, investor banking, hedge funds, and stuff like that. They were part of the minority investment. They made a proposal, but the interest rates was so high. I mean, you can look at the current financial situations, Brian. You know, nobody wants to give you a loan nowadays. So basically, for me, I see this as a personal loan. In return, you give me B shares and Class A shares, right? And that's what it is. Simple as that. If you look at it.
Yeah, it makes sense going all the way back to when we first saw the reports. When, I mean, to be honest, the Glazers, they were very clear on what they were looking for. The fans read what they wanted to read, and that's what we do. We're fans. We're just as selfish in what we want for the club as the owners are in a lot of ways, right? So when the Glazers first announced, they said initially they were looking for some sort of financial restructuring when it came to the ownership of the club. And one of those options was entertaining the idea of a full sale. They were very clear that a full sale wasn't the actual first thing that they were looking for. And so Sir Jim is essentially giving them what they were wanting.
That's correct, because that's always what to do. They did that with the Apollo Group as well. They were speaking to Apollo Group to give them 1.2, 1.4. They said, up yours, not going to do it. So here comes Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He wants to be at the, how do I say, twilights of his career. He wants to be associated. He said it himself, like, when he tried to buy Chelsea, he said, Jim and I and all them, like, our ambition is to own a Premier League club in the Premier League. And then they came into the Manchester United. It's like, well, he said, well, Joel and Avram are the nicest guy. I know them. And it's like, and they're owned by the 6 siblings, and they don't want to sell the club, and yada, yada, yada. It's all there, people. He says Joel and Avram are the nicest guys.
Yeah.
So that means that, did they do this on purpose all along, in a certain way, did they work together just to fish in the highest bidder, like, because at the end of the day, they want 10 billion in valuation, or 8 to 10 billion, right?
Yeah. And
so if you look, so if you look at this, Brian, like, if you look what they've done now, they made sure that anyone that comes in and wants to buy the remaining has to bid minimum $33 per share. That means you have to come in with 38. And Sir Jim has the first refusal right to say, well, I cannot afford 38.40, but you can buy me out for 33, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clever moves.
Yeah. You can say a lot of things negatively about the Glazers, but their business acumen, their ability
the Sharks
to go out and get money. Yeah, the Sharks. They definitely know what to do when it comes to getting what they want financially. So
yeah. And that is the end of that podcast. But one thing is for sure, Glazers are sharks. They're not stupid. They always wanted money. Minimum 8 to 10 billion without valuating. The question is that 25%, what you just heard now, enough to clear the debt and for us to operate as a club? The way I see it, the way most fans see it, the 25% Sir Jim Ratcliffe is not enough. It doesn't go to the club, it goes straight to the Glazers' pocket. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments and feelings in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to this video, and we should see you to the next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.